All right, yeah. So I'm gonna make this video. This is not gonna be a long video. I'm drinking a Great Lakes Brewing Co. IPA. What's this? 7.7% alcohol. So it's a decent beer. Free if you drink it for the alcohol. Right now I'm kind of drinking for the alcohol. Usually I drink for the taste, but right now I'm kind of drinking for a mixture of both. But uh, but yeah, this video because I started thinking like do people think I sound fucking like upset? Do I sound like one of those guys who's just like mad at women and stuff like that? And no, I'm not mad. To answer that question completely honestly, because okay, by the time I make a video, I'm just like on full rant mode in my head. Like I'm not like this 24 hours a day. Like I'm by the time I make a video, I'm just on rant mode of what I'm thinking about a situation. So I just kind of like spill it over like 15 minutes. But no, like to answer that question, I wanted to answer this question for myself and for if anybody even is gonna watch this, if many people even watch this video. But no, I am upset a bit, but I'm not upset at women. I'm upset for the fact that I had to learn women's nature and pretty much waste a solid 15 years of my life, pretty much like going off of like movies, television, media, and then other stupid motherfuckers influencing my life. Like I was pretty much just kind of building it off of that, and it was just completely wrong. So I'm mad at myself for pretty much for losing, a solid 15 years of chasing dumb bitches around because I just didn't know the game. And also, like, see, I think a lot of guys who are born with younger sisters and who are like, this is where men who come from single mothers probably a lot of times I find personally have a higher advantage because a good friend of mine he told me he was raised from a single mother, man, and he told me all the stories. Like, man, he told me all the stories, man. He knows what that is. He knew what his mother was. He knew. I mean, it got pretty brutal at times. But and I mean, he has a very pretty girlfriend now. He knows how to manage her. He's like 20, 21 years old. See, this I didn't have that at 20, 21 years old. For the most part, I was a single child, a male. I did have my mother and father around, but I didn't have like that guidance in dealing with bitches. You see what I'm saying? Like in the dating world. Like I didn't have any of that. Like cause some guys I do know, like they had a sister or multiple sisters. And more times than not, if you get them to talk to you, they'll tell you how they used to watch their sisters, have just it'd be one guy after another guy, and they would watch her sister run game on so many guys to the point where that's how they learned women nature, before they even hit 18. So when they hit 18, they already knew, look, if she's telling you this, she's telling at least three or four other guys that same thing. You see what I'm saying? If pretty much the logic with that goes is if a woman isn't crazy over you and isn't texting you immediately back or calling you immediately right back and is if pretty much if she's not worshiping the ground you're walking on, then you're one of at least five that she's telling the same thing to. That's the reality of it. That was my reality of it from being in America, being in South America, being in Europe. It's the same thing. This is what I had to learn, and I'm now 33. I probably learned this fully, fully at about I say probably about between 30 and 31. I was kind of honing in on it, but it didn't like fully hit until I started running around those brothels in Europe, and I would watch how they would do it. Those are pretty much like my little sisters in those brothels. I mean, they were obviously grown women because there's a huge misconception that brothels have like children in them and shit. That's like I'm sure it's probably somewhere on the planet they probably do, but that is really not a normal thing in brothels. Like from my experience throughout Europe, it's usually what you usually find there is porn stars, escorts, regular prostitutes. They're I think the youngest girl I may have even come across was maybe 18 or 19. And believe it or not, man, this is a side note in those brothels. Like I mean, okay, brothels in Europe, it's like legit like model quality women fucking for 50, 60, $70. Like model quality. Like because they do because the European women know how to do their makeup. They're always naturally skinnier. Boob jobs are fucking you can go to Eastern Europe and get a boob job for $300. Um like those women are just fucking immaculate, man. And believe it or not, the women who usually get marriage proposals and shit like that, it's usually like the women over 30 in brothels because they got that kind of like that thicker body, and then they just kind of learn how to act better because now they know different languages because they've been fucking men from all over the world. So now they can communicate in five six different languages. More times than not, the older women are the ones who have the lines of guys, and the younger supermodel bitches like they're just so dumb. They don't know how to communicate. They don't really like younger girls are just naturally more stupid. Like it's weird, man. It's like the younger and beautiful. I'm on a real side rant now, probably because just being me, and then also I'm drinking. But I'm thinking about my time in Europe, which I'm getting ready to fly back. Um, it's weird how that really works, man. It seems it's really backwards. It's like the younger and beautiful they are. Let's say they're like 20, 21, 22. They're super fucking stupid, and they're so stupid. The only place that they can really excel in is like the club or uh some place where they have to just stand and be seen. Because as soon as they start talking, they're just so fucking dumb. Like nobody wants them. It was the same thing in the brothels, man. Like I can think of countless women right now hanging out in brothels. Because we go to brothels in Europe, they got the high heels, the lingerie, their makeup's done, tits hanging out. They're just they're just on a whole different level from average American woman. Like the sexiest American woman, you throw her in a brothel in Prague, she immediately drops down to about a 7 out of 10 at best because it's the little things that they just like they're better with art and knowing the realities of what men actually want, and like they're better with it. But yeah, the younger girls, man, in those brothels, they were always the ones who door was wide open because no man's in there fucking them. Door was always wide open. They sitting there on their cell phone all day. If you try talking to them, they kind of have this dumb look on their face because they're just young. They're young and stupid. They don't know how to communicate, so they're just dumb. And more times than not, it was the older women. It the women who I advised did not date. Those were the women who would always have men bring them McDonald's, buy them rings, try to get them out of there. It was always the women who were like 28 and up. Those were the ones who men were trying to marry. But but yeah, no. But back to the original topic, that was a huge side rant. But yeah, I'm mad at myself. Like I don't say I'm mad. I think I'm jealous for the cards I was dealt. I think that's a better way to say it. Because had I have been born with like a sister, and you could, like I said, like I've talked to numerous men who had numerous guys who had who grew up with sisters, and they would watch men just it'd be like within 10 minutes, three different guys come over. She'll feed them some bullshit line and get them out the door, and they'll tell you any man who's grown up with sisters will tell you because who's watched that sister's nature as a woman and how she deals with men. Especially if her little sister was hot or big sister was hot and how she dealt with men. Pretty much, if a woman is not worshiping the ground you walk on when you come around, like first is now like I got one girl now. I got one text me literally the second I get done texting her before I put my phone down. She texts me 3 times, but I got another girl, man. I seen her today. I got her. I got her. She I know she like. There's another one that likes, but no. Okay, I'll start with the first one. Like when I show up, she just immediately like like and it's just like there. If a woman is not doing shit like that for you, and if she's not like making time out for you, if you got to keep going over there, she don't like you, or she figures you might be a useful tool one day. See, these are things I didn't know. I like because if you leave it up to movies, music, television, they will lead you to believe that as a man, you are supposed to chase this woman because she's a magical creature and she's all knowing, and and you're supposed to chase her and declare your love for her and blah blah blah. See, what they're not telling you is that works for like, I mean, that can work for a few weeks or a month, But after that month, she's gonna get tired of you and move on to, the next guy. So yeah, man, I'm more mad at myself, and probably it's probably not really mad at myself. It's probably the cards I was dealt, and just not being able to see the nature. Like the buddy of mine, he grew up a single child with a single mother, and he said he just watched guys. Just it was the same thing. He would just watch guys like one right after another, in and out the door, in and out the door, in and out the door. She tell them whatever they want to hear. They probably pay her the internet bill or electric bill, you know, because they think they the only one, and she'll just give them the thank you so much. I'm so thankful. Blah blah blah. You see, and they'll just do all that and do all that and then the guy who's not aware, he just completely falls for it every fucking time. And they'll string guys along like that. As long as they're not trying to get too close and they're still paying all their shit, they'll string guys along for years. Like I said, man, if because when when a woman wants something, when she wants a man, she's gonna find a way to get to that motherfucking man. It's the same thing. I think like there's a documentary in Ukraine where bitches would go to these dating retreats to meet American men, and they would pay money to go in there to meet American men. You see what I'm saying? You see how deep that a woman will pay money to get to a man. Like if she wants you, she is going to find a way to get near you. Okay. Now, the other issue that I find with women, since I've been like over the hill, because I was on the other end, I would be the guy who like chased the girl, blah blah blah, when I was younger. Then I learned better, and now I don't do that anymore. But see, another now once you get to where I am in life with this, the part that and maybe you whoever's watching this can enlighten me on how to deal with it. But see, women do not know. See, how do I phrase this concisely? If you do something to them, then it can be considered, wrong, evil, blah, blah, blah. But if they do it to you, it's perfectly fucking fine and normal. Meaning, okay, like let's say like if now I've never been like a stalker type, but I mean some guys do kind of fall into that. But let's say like if they get stalked by a guy, he's creepy, call the police on him, he's this and that and third. But if they stalk you, no fucking big deal. And the thing is, now the problem and the deeper problem when they stalk you is okay, every woman can get fucked. That's not a big deal for them. What makes me not want to fuck them when they get into that stalker mode is they don't know, they're so used to guys stalking them that when it becomes their turn to do the stalking, they're not good at it. I mean, they really aren't good at it. Like, and they'll even one girl, I told my dad a few days ago about this one girl with the T-Mobile. This girl was just, oh my, that was just awful. Like she tried to like, it's hard to explain, but she tried to like get me to hit her with her car, hit her car or hit her car. She tried to get me to run into her while I was pulling into the parking lot. Man, that girl. When women do stalker shit, like women stalker shit will equal somebody end up being in jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times it'll probably end up being you because she's stalking you and you didn't know, or you probably weren't paying attention and didn't know what was going on. And so you in jail because you probably had to fight somebody off or something because she didn't send somebody to get your attention on her. See what I'm saying? Like when they stalk, they don't know how to they can't do it properly in any kind of sense. You see what I'm saying? So they really just come off as super fucking weird. But then maybe that's a whole nother video. But yeah, man, my thing is like I'm kind of salty. That's an old term. I don't know if people still say that, salty, but I'm just salty. I didn't get to grow up with a woman of either the same age in my household or a single woman. Now, when my father remarried, I got to see a bit more women's nature with that. But like at that point, like I still really didn't like get the mentality to think above women's nature. Like I was just kind of seeing it, like how I mean, she was like just like she was a pretty older woman. She's not anymore. She's like fat and fucked up now. Like but he remarried her right when she was like good looking, and she was just like smile and flirt with everybody, and like now like I think that was probably my first real run in with women's nature, where like I was like, that's fucked up. Like that was the first time when I seen a woman. I think it was like Chris Rock. He said like, I won't hit a woman, but I understand. Like that woman deserves to get her ass whooped. There's a lot of women out there who deserve to get a stone cold ass whooping. I'm not gonna do it, but when somebody does whoop her ass, all I can do is laugh. That's it. Like, cause a lot of women. I know if anybody watches this, y'all, you know that woman out there. A lot of women out there, they deserve to get to get their ass whooped like hard. And the reality is, I think a lot of them want it. You know, they like it. Like they like the emotion, the attention, the adrenaline rush, of it. But that's a whole other video in itself. But yeah, man, like, but no, I'm not angry with women. I'm angry at the fact that I did not get a chance to grow up with women's nature being employed around me, where I could at least notice it and see it. You know, as a student in the game, like most uh, younger men who grew up with sisters who were employing female logic. Because I remember I was reading one thing where this one guy, he was going on about, I think he grew up with like two or three sisters, and he said he picked them on bitches logic back then. He said he pretty much diagrammed the progression stages of women being mad. First they'll get mad, then they'll start yelling. Then once they figure out that they can't just yell to get their way, then they'll start crying. And then once you just call them out on bullshit for crying, then then they'll just shut off like that. They'll stop crying, then they'll just go walk in a room and just be mad, like a normal person. Like I mean, and he just diagrammed it so excellent. Like the like the steps that women go through when they're mad at you. Like it. See, these are things I didn't know. I had to learn it, man. I really did, and I'm just I don't know what the proper word is, but I keep saying salty like it's 1999. But I'm salty that I just didn't have that like a deeper level of insight on it.